Yo, what up? Um, just got a quick video explaining every single change for speedrunning for the Pikmin 4 update. So they basically added a bunch of settings. So they added difficulty and they added an option to skip day one. So it's just gonna bring you to your character customization, and then once you customize them, and hit OK, right here, that's where the new timing will start. So it skips day one, and overall saves around 7 minutes. Um, and then the only other like time loss you get is there is an additional cutscene um around here. Yeah, the day you start after getting Dingo, which is day four, you're gonna get this cutscene, which is like 15 seconds. So you're gonna lose time to that. So overall, that whole thing saves a net probably like 6.5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes 45 seconds, something around that. Um, so the next change is with starting on day two. Previously, on day one, we would actually skip one of these pellets because it was pretty slow. But the game assumes that we collect it now. So when we start, we actually we actually get 13 Pikmin now. 13 starting Pikmin instead of 11. Um, which is not like game breaking, but we are going to technically save a little bit of time in the first few Ks. Um, but what else? Let me look at my notes. So they changed the throwing mechanics. So previously, it was based off of when Pikmin joined your squad. That would be the order that you would throw them, right? Which usually was leaf Pikmin first, but because let's say you have a bunch of leaves and you go nectar them, the leaves that become flowers leave your squad, and the Pikmin that stay leaves are still going to be in your squad. So it's effectively was just throwing leaves first. Now, let me find a good clip right here, right? So traditionally, right here, it would throw. I guess I don't have any leaves, but let's say I did, it would throw leaves first onto this guy. But now it's just going to throw the flowers first. So now the throwing mechanic is that we're going to be basically throwing flowers first almost always, unless you're aiming at nectar, which is incredibly helpful because it allows you to keep the leaves with you, and in the early segments you can nectar. Um, they also added a few gameplay updates. The big one being auto lock on being for you can now toggle it on and off, but toggling it off is actually bad because we do use auto lock on quite a lot in this run, and I mean, like right here, right? If you don't have auto lock on, like that's just gonna be a very difficult throw due to the cursor mechanics. It's not like in Pikmin 3 where you can just aim it wherever. It moves with you, and then you have to aim it as well. So it's a very weird cursor, and it's pretty clunky to play without auto lock on. So I honestly still think it's better to just use auto lock on. So that I didn't include in my notes because it doesn't really change anything, but I thought I would mention that. So I talked about the additional cutscene. On the last like main difference now is there's preset shortcuts. Uh, yeah, right here. So, um, yeah, so it actually is going to default set commands to left, missions up, tack right, and switch down. Previously, it literally had nothing. But this kind of sucks because ultra spicy used to be to the right, and now it's not. So now we have to go in and manually set ultra spicy. The best spot I found for that is right at the end of Industrial Maze, because you exit out and quit anyways. Right here. So while you already have this menu up, you can just apply the ultra spicy, which if you don't have it at this point, it's a reset. So I found this to be the best spot to do it. And see, after I do that, I just click return to surface. So it saves an extra input to do it then. But then the main difference is switch is already down, or switch is already bound now, so we don't have to actually bind it here. Which means that we're going to be saving, or I do because I'm an idiot, but you wouldn't have to. So you're going to save about like 3 seconds on the center. But the downside of not having to bind switch is since we don't open that menu, there's really no point in binding disband. So now, at least for any percent or roli, we don't have the disband option, which really only changes like 2 floors, so it's not even needed. Yeah, it's just this right here. Like we only dismiss like twice in the whole run. You would dismiss here. Instead, I just opted to throw like 10 or so ice Pikmin at the nectar, and then you dismiss later on, which I just throw the Pikmin. So it is a little slower to not have to span, but it's not even worth setting at this point. But yeah, that's basically it. TLDR is now we start on day 2, and there's an additional cutscene, and now you have to change your settings, and you throw flowers first.